Hi guys, and welcome back. Today I got three from the New York, New Jersey area. The first one is going to be a former New York NYPD officer pleads guilty to trafficking large quantities of methamphetamine and liquid date rape drug. Okay, the numbers I'm going to be giving you guys right now, you probably can multiply them times three, maybe times five, for the fact that you're going to go in and you're going to have, if you're going to actually get an actual deal handed to you, you have to plead guilty or not, or no contest, for the fact that that money that you earned or made or sold or acquired, you have to report that to the IRS. So you're not done. Yeah, you have to report that to the IRS, and it has to be done with your income tax for that year. And they add it on as extra revenue, and you still have to pay. You have to pay taxes on that, even if you take a bribe. You have to pay taxes on that one yearly tax um, form you turn in. It has to be added to that tax form. Therefore, you have to pay taxes on that income too. So you're not going to get just jail time. So you can multiply this times three. And same thing if you caught the border, if you caught the port taking bribes, you're always going to go for the least amount of money you earned, for the fact that you still got to answer to the IRS still. So according to this actual indictment, he pled guilty to distributing large quantities of methamphetamine and gamma butyroactone, known as GBL, in Westchester and New York City. This individual by the name of John, he apparently he was responsible for uh, he was actually the leader of a drug trafficking ring, and he was personally responsible for moving over 3 kilograms, yeah, right, of methamphetamine, 750 liters of GBL, and importing narcotics from overseas. Getting in at least 2017 and lasting until his arrest February 2020, John and his conspirators stockpiled and sold liters of GBL, kilograms of methamphetamine in apartment, hotel rooms, and storage units in the heart of Midtown Manhattan and a residence in Bronxville, New York. John repeatedly brokered large-scale narcotic transactions over recorded prison calls with an inmate then New York within the New York State custody. USBP has purely seized GBL sent from China to John's address in New York. Well, that's how they caught him. That's how they caught wind of him. So he had a shipment coming in from China to his address, probably under a fake name, because we'll find out right now why I say fake name. And as part of the plea deal, he stipulated that he was an organized leader, manager, or supervisor in a criminal activity. The offense involved the importation of methamphetamine, and his offense conduct involved over 3 kilograms of methamphetamine and 750 liters of GBL. Okay, come on, really? He did a kilogram every year? He did it for over 3 years. On February 19, 2020, he was arrested in a Wall Street hotel in a room he had rented under a false identity. See? In addition to the meth and the GBL, law enforcement recovered from John's room a bank card and a fake ID bearing his actual photograph. So he had false ID, he had false identity, therefore he could have it shipped under different names, different addresses. In all the names of the false identity to the room was rented to. As part of his arrest, law enforcement also recovered detailed drug ledgers, credit card making equipment, and notebooks full of victims' personal identifiable information. See, this guy, he must have had some very, very good information on other officers or other actual connections, because you and I would have been up the creek for just the possession of the methamphetamine, 15 years at least, and the GBL, a date rape. Come on, who buys date rape? Really? And then to top of that off, he was he was producing. He was actually in hands of actual victims' personal identification information. Well, how is that not enhanced to aggravated theft, ID theft? From what this guy was up to, he had a lot more charges that he could have been facing. Again, taking care of each other. See, well, he's actually gonna be he's scheduled to be sentenced here shortly, but we're gonna see exactly what he's gonna get because, oh man, me and you would have been done for the fact that just for the identification is 2 years easily, just on top of everything that you're doing, just having that information, and then plus the rape date rape drug. Come on. Okay, now the next one's coming up is out of actually the New Jersey area and New York, and it's called Diamond Enterprise. I'm not going to get into much detail, but just to give you guys the basics of this actual Diamond Enterprise. Apparently, this individual by the name of Moniker Diamond pleaded guilty to 8 counts of criminal conduct, including overseeing multi-year racketing enterprise, interstate threats, money laundering, bank fraud, conspiracy, false statements to a bank, and 2 gambling conspiracy offenses. So apparently, he was actually, uh, as he admitted, he led a network of underground gambling establishments to prop up a criminal enterprise under his control. He engaged in a series of additional crimes, including money laundering, threatening a victim with physical violence by loan shark, in a series of additional crimes, including money and defrauding and lying to banks in an effort to receive money in which he was not entitled to. That's right there in the bank itself, because the area it's predicted by FDIC. So, and according to this actual he also offered his protection, connections, and substantial influence in the criminal underworld to other members of the actual racketeering enterprise in exchange for a share of their illegal profits. The Diamond Enterprise thrived in part on the actual revenues generated by a network of illegal gambling parlors, which by the name Sports Cafe, Friendly Cafe, or Oasis Cafe, located throughout Brooklyn, that hosted underground poker games and hosted illegal sports books. That's a big thing in that area, New York, New Jersey, is having a good bookie located throughout the actual Brooklyn. He actually some of those revenues in turn were laundered through a series of bank accounts in an effort to facilitate the actual enterprise continue operations. So that's he had a pretty good racket, but of course when you have too many people involved, when you have too many, you piss people off when gambling, you gotta be very, very careful. You have to be mobile. People lose their money. People can lose their entire life in these parlors. So there could be a lot of animosity, um, a lot of bad blood between the gambler and the actual bookie. And that's the problem that you have to have. You can't have set establishments. Oh, they're gonna rat you out. You know what I mean? They're gonna kill your family. They'll do it, and then you go to the cops, and of course, you give it all up, and it's very, very. It's not your chances of actually being successful to retire are not good. And this next one here, I'm gonna just mention for the fact that just because it's a compartment, okay? 3 men convicted of drug trafficking and firearms offenses. Okay, so basically, these guys were there's a whole bunch of people named this conspiracy, but the gist of it is that they were convicted of 1 count of conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent. Uh, 1 kilogram or more of heroin, 1 count of distribute and possession with intent to distribute 100 grams or more of heroin. So basically, it's all the same. But uh, just want to bring this one up here real quick. Uh, he was also he in 2018. The 2 individuals and others participated in a large trafficking conspiracy that operated in various areas in Trenton, and which sought to profit from their distribution of heroin. Okay, but on one incident, these guys could get their hands on a lot of heroin and get rid of a lot of heroin fast. Okay, but on September 6, 2018, law enforcement stopped a green 2002 Volkswagen Passat after observing one of the individuals they were already tailing, um, a previously convicted felon, enter the vehicle carrying a yellow plastic bag believed to contain contraband. The Passat was driven by another individual, and it was registered to this individual, who was also a previous convicted felon. So both of them are felons. So that right there, when the cops pull you over, they could basically do anything they want to you for the fact that you've already given up your actual constitutional rights. Well, that's the way they say it is in California. It might be different in New York, but it's almost the same. And And as a so okay, so they had a their journey search of the vehicle because obviously they can pull them over because they're both convicted felons. Law enforcement recovered a secret trap compartment installed underneath the rear passenger seat, approximately 57 bricks of heroin, four semi-automatic firearms, including a .223 caliber assault rifle that was actually linked to a shooting in Trenton 4 days earlier. There you go. Hundreds of rounds of ammunition and the yellow plastic bag that the defendant was carrying into the vehicle. They discovered that he had two boxes of 45 caliber ammunition and three 45 caliber firearm magazines, which matched the semi-automatic firearm also found in the trap compartment. Law enforcement officer identified the heroin as having been supplied by another individual that they all linked it all up, right? So that's interesting right there. Having your car tricked out with that kind of compartment. It's a business, so why not invest in it? If they were to pull you up for regular traffic conviction or anything, nothing visible, your car is clean, maybe a sweater or something. You gotta keep your car clean. If not, the cops are gonna be snooping around. What's behind that trash? If he's this, uh, uh, how do you say? If he's this sloppy, he's gonna have something laying around that can incriminate him. And they'll start looking through the window with your flashlight. They're not gonna go inside, but they're gonna take a look. And if they find anything that they deem contraband, just that's it. But since these guys were convicted felons, they were able to search their car with no warrant or anything of the sort. Okay, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe.